প্রথমেই এলো সতর্কবাণী, দম করে পড়ে যাও না, কিন্তু একটু যদি আছাড় টাছাড় না খাই আমি থাকবো না। গুড ইভিনিং, শুভ সন্ধ্যা। My greetings to the guests of honor who have already released my books formally, and to the dear members of the audience. Those who study in the West Bengal board, they have a sound knowledge of translation right from middle school. But those of us who studied in the Delhi board had translation only in the +2 level. So that is after ICSE. So that was the first time I really learned what translation was, as it was part of the ISC syllabus. About certain Delhi board students, the less said the better. আমার মনে আছে when we were in class 11, আমাদের এক classmate আয়ের opposite লিখেছিল আসিস না। So thankfully I was not part of that group. আমরা মুষ্টিমেয় কয়েকজন we knew যে হ্যাঁ আয়ের opposite bad. তো যাই হোক, so then after ages in 2014, I think, Professor Dasgupta, that is Shamita, he asked me whether I would translate a story and whether I was interested in attending a workshop, a translation workshop, which was being organized by Sahitya Academy. So I was given the assignment of translating a story by Jhareshwar Chattopadhyay for an anthology of Bengali short stories compiled by Sunil Gangopadhyay, and the collective volume of the English translation that was being edited by Shamita. And it was in that workshop, we were there, that I first met Dr. Ramkumar Mukhopadhyay. So I remember him very well, supervising the translation procedure. We were exchanging our translated works, and we all had suggestions to add and all that. So it was done with, the care and the way it was done. I really remember it. Shamita and Dr. Ramkumar Mukhopadhyay together. So this is how I entered a world of translators, because there were so many of them. And then again came a hiatus. I cannot explain why, but at some point in 2020 or thereabouts, I felt that I may try my hand again at translation. So maybe it could be a novel or a short story collection, or poems, or maybe a play. Why I felt so, I cannot explain really. Some things cannot be explained, but the reasons could be myriad, and maybe I could pinpoint one or two. India has 22 official languages.
India 22, Sanskrit 20.
Okay, so Sanskrit plus 23, yes, modern Indian languages. So as a Bengali and as an Indian, I felt that Bengal has such a rich body of literature. Unless we, who know at least 2 languages, unless we keep on translating Bengali texts, how will they reach the millions of Indians who do not know Bengali, or for that matter any language? So this may sound very cliched, but yes, I did have this feeling. So even if my translated texts are just drops in the bucket, or maybe drops in the ocean, I feel that they are humble contributions, and they are tributes to my own mother tongue, Bengali, to my culture, which is both Bengali as well as Indian. And I feel that I am adding something to the vast gamut of literature in my country, which is diverse, which is multi-ethnic, which is multicultural, and which champions unity in diversity. When I was teaching in college, I taught R.K. Narayan or Mahesh Sattani, for example. And I never felt that they were tales from the south of India or they were tales from the west. Because I felt that, well, they were Indian tales. They were my stories too. And I'm sure if I were to read a Tamil text by Vairamuthu, I was looking that Vairamuthu has been translated into English. So if I were to read it, obviously I would have to read Vairamuthu either in Hindi or in English. Or for that matter, if you think of a Marathi text by, say, Lakshman Gaikwad, he has written about the Dalits. So the plight of the Dalit in West Bengal will not be too dissimilar with that of a Dalit who's in Gujarat or maybe in Andhra Pradesh or maybe in Kashmir or say Gangadhar Gargil. How are we going to know them? I will have to know them through either Hindi or English. So I would feel that they would also become my own tales, speaking about my culture, which, as I said, is Bengali but also Indian. So this is the reason for this endeavor to translate and to reach across cultures which are similar yet diverse, or totally dissimilar if you speak of people outside India. And I'm so happy that we actually have Professor Forbes with us. So, as she said, it is because of the translated text that I could reach out to a person who also is non-Indian. And another reason, I think, may be attributed to IPPL, the Intercultural Poetry and Performance Library, because IPPL has fabulous translators. There's Madam Dasgupta, of course, our president, who translates from Bengali to English. In this panel itself, we have Dr. Tania Chakravertty, who translates from Assamese to Bengali and to English, and she also knows Nagamese. Can you believe that? We have Professor Amita Roy, who translates from Bengali to English. And we have had book launches here. Amita these too. And there's Shayantan Dasgupta, who is the coordinator, Center for Translation of Indian Literatures. So happy to be here. And also an IPPL member, yes. We also have our Vice President, Dr. Joydeep Sarangi, who takes an avid interest in translation. We have Lopa Banerjee, Navonita Sengupta, Madhu Srivastav, so many of them. So I'm so happy to be, in this peer group. Coming to these two texts, Taposhi O Tarangini has always been a favorite text of mine. I read this text first when I was in college, and as I said, I thought maybe I will begin with a play or a novel, so I thought of translating Taposhi O Tarangini first. But yes, translating this one was really, really difficult. It was all because of Buddhadeb Basu's language. Just one or two examples. Bangek chhata kobe সাজাবে পৃথিবীরে ডাকবে উল্লাসে দৌড়দূর শিশির বিন্দুর আদরে ভরপুর ঝুলবে আঙিনায় কুমড়ো যেমন বেঁচে থাকে কেন্ন কেঁচো আর মাটিতে বুকে টেনে বর্ণগ এটসেট্রা কুমড়ো yes কুমড়ো is a pumpkin শিশির বিন্দু dewdrop ডাকবে উল্লাসে দৌড়দূর হঠাৎ আমি এখনো হয়তো বলতে পারবো না what দৌড়দূর means কেন্ন কেঁচো so far so good, but then matite book tene ponnogo. So I have translated it. When will mushrooms sprout all over? When will the toads croak again? When will pumpkins hang in the courtyard caressed by dewdrops? As earthworms continue to survive and serpents keep crawling on their bellies, as exhausted reptiles cross miles and come back to their water habitats. Jojon par hoye klanto kurmera abar fire paye sindhu. So this happened because we don't speak this language anymore. It is archaic Bengali. So when I was translating Taposhi O Tarangini, I had to, get out that old copy of Cholontika. I had to rush to the dictionary many times. I had to open the dictionary umpteen times. With Badi Bodle Jai, the task was much simpler. Ramapada Chaudhury's Bengali is very modern and very racy, very colloquial. What I have done, in both my translations, I have added glossary and notes. The Hermit in Tarangini has a mention of the Vedas, mythological characters, a mention of the Treta Yuga and all. So unless you know what a Yuga is, how would you understand Shotta Treta Dapur fully? And many of us, part of the modern secular India, we have limited knowledge, I would say, about the Hindu and Buddhist myths. And keeping in mind such readers, and also the non-Hindu reader, the non-Bengali reader in India, and also the international readers, I felt I should explain who is who in Indian myths and what is what. So, and in dwellings change, a large chunk of the glossary was taken up by relations and what we call them. Mashi, for example, anybody who speaks Hindi would understand maybe it's close to Masi, Mausi. But what about Pishi? Pishi becomes Bua in Hindi. I don't know what it is called in Tamil. I don't know what it is called in Gujarati. I don't know what it is called in some other language. So, Pishi, Boudi, Thakurji, Thakurpo, so these were there. So, for a long period of my life, I had not heard terms like Thakurji, Thakurpo, because my mother, who's seated right here, she used to call her, the siblings and cousins of my father by their names. And so did my Dida. So I had not really heard of these terms. And I think it was when I first read Sharad Chandra, I came across the word Thakurpo. So that must have been middle school. So you see, the glossary was also added, keeping in mind the non-Bengali readers in India and the international readers. So now I leave it to the esteemed panelists to critique my work. I'm still a novice. Novice in the sense I'm still eager to learn from such stalwarts. As I mentioned, IPPL has fabulous translators. We keep on learning from each other. So I plan to take up more translations of Bengali texts, if possible. And today's session, I'm sure, will help me overcome my shortcomings I have had so far. And Ashok Vishwanathan, being a thespian, I would really want Professor Vishwanathan to tell me whether the translated text is good enough for a performance on stage. So maybe he would tell us. Yet, let me tell you, there is a flaw in the panel. What kind of a flaw? The problem is, the dignitaries who are here, they are all very fond of me. So, I do love to have the love and the pampering, and very grateful too that all of them are here to release my book. So I don't really know whether they will be able to judge me neutrally and objectively and harshly if need be. But you as the audience, you will also get a chance to judge me, because after the panel we have a fabulous group of readers and performers who will read excerpts from the original followed by the translation. So either you will go home saying, "Bah, very good, bhalo kaj." Otherwise you will say, "Buddhadev Basu's language and who's taken it up? Tania Chakravertty." Hoy kakhono. So so it all depends what kind of a reaction you will have. So I leave it to you. You could say it's preposterous, or you could say, and if you say that I've really been able to do some justice, I'll be very happy. So thank you. And about dissection shuru ho, the dissection and the analysis. I better go and hide somewhere at the back, which is very unlike me, but আজকে মনে হচ্ছে একটু লুকিয়ে বসে থাকি. So thank you so much.